I moved into my new home with my husband Alex. We were happy, but life was about to change in ways I could never imagine. Alex's best friend Ryan came over one evening. He was charming, polite, and always knew what to say to make Alex laugh. I liked Ryan at first because he seemed harmless. I never suspected the danger he carried hidden behind his friendly smile. It started with small things. He would show up unannounced, offering to help around the house. He would compliment my cooking, my decorating, my every little effort. At first I thought it was just friendly, but then I noticed Alex was spending more time with him and less with me. It was subtle at first, but I felt a shift in the air, like a storm approaching quietly. One day I was in the kitchen when I saw a text flash on Alex's phone. It was from Ryan, and it said something that made my blood freeze. I tried not to overreact, but my instinct screamed something is wrong. I began to watch Ryan more closely. I noticed the way he would linger when I entered the room, the way he would subtly undermine my opinions in front of Alex. I could feel it, like a weight in my chest that would not lift. I decided to test him without Alex knowing. I started leaving little things around the house, things that only a friend with hidden intentions would notice. Ryan fell into the trap. I saw him snooping around my room, checking my personal things. His eyes betrayed him. The friendly mask slipped for a fraction of a second, and I knew I had to act carefully to protect my marriage. I started documenting everything, taking photos, keeping records of messages and phone calls. Ryan thought he was clever, but I was smarter. I invited my close friends over and staged scenarios where he revealed his true intentions in front of everyone. I saw the shock in Alex's eyes when he realized what his best friend had been planning: the betrayal, the manipulation. The confrontation was explosive. Ryan tried to deny it, to twist the story to make me look crazy, but I had proof. I had witnesses. I had caught him red-handed. Alex finally understood how much danger our marriage had been in, and he held me close, thanking me for my patience, my courage, my cleverness. I realized that strength does not come from hiding, it comes from exposing truth, even when it is painful. Ryan left our lives that day, humiliated, defeated, never daring to come back. Alex and I rebuilt our relationship on trust, honesty, and communication. I felt proud of myself, proud that I had not let anyone jeopardize my happiness or my marriage. My friends called me brave. Some whispered that I was like a heroine from a drama. I smiled, knowing I had won without losing my dignity. Life returned to normal slowly. We laughed together, cooked together, and talked openly about everything. Nothing could break the bond we had built stronger. After facing deception, I never underestimated anyone's charm again. I remained vigilant and wise, keeping my heart open but my eyes sharp. Months later, I would sometimes think about Ryan and shake my head, wondering how someone could pretend so perfectly to be a friend and yet be so deceitful. But I did not dwell on it. Instead, I focused on love, on trust, and on the family Alex and I were creating together. I had learned that intelligence, courage, and patience are the true weapons in life. Every evening when we sat together on our porch watching the sunset, I felt safe and content, knowing that nothing would shake the foundation we had built. I had survived a betrayal, a test of character, and come out victorious. I had exposed lies, preserved love, and emerged stronger than ever. The story of Ryan became a lesson I shared with my close friends, a story of vigilance, a story of cleverness and courage. I knew that sometimes the people closest to you may not be what they seem, but with careful observation and patience, the truth always reveals itself, and justice always finds its way. I decided to create a plan to expose him without alerting Alex. I started leaving things that mattered to me in plain view: my journal, my laptop with documents open, my personal letters. Ryan could not resist investigating. I watched from a distance as he tried to sneak a peek. He muttered to himself under his breath. I took pictures, discreetly recording everything. As days passed, Ryan became bolder. He would make comments about my appearance to Alex, hinting at things I should not know. I noticed the jealousy he tried to plant slowly. I refused to react. Instead, I observed quietly, noting his every word, gesture, action. It was like a chess game. I had to stay several moves ahead to protect my marriage and my dignity. The day came when I invited our friends over for a casual dinner. I knew Ryan could not resist the opportunity to show off his charm. I made sure that subtle traps were set, leaving documents and messages around, cameras capturing behavior and conversations he Did not know I had arranged everything perfectly. I watched as he revealed his true intentions, laughing nervously, trying to hide his deceit, but failing spectacularly. Alex saw it too. His face changed from casual amusement to shocked disbelief, then anger. He confronted Ryan in front of everyone, demanding an explanation. Ryan stammered, denied twisted stories, but the evidence was undeniable, witnesses confirming my observations, proof on phones and cameras, everything I had patiently gathered over weeks. I felt my heart swell with a mix of triumph, relief, and vindication. Ryan finally left, humiliated, defeated, never returning to our home or lives. Alex held me close, whispering words of gratitude, praising my cleverness, patience, courage. I realized in that moment that intelligence and vigilance could protect love and relationships more than blind trust ever could. I had turned the tables without losing grace or respect. Life slowly returned to normal. Alex and I rebuilt our bond stronger than ever. We laughed, cooked together, talked openly, shared our dreams, planning our future. I never let anyone manipulate or threaten our happiness again. Ryan became a lesson, a story to share with friends about deceit and vigilance, about patience and courage. Sometimes I would reflect on Ryan's behavior, shaking my head at how someone could pretend so perfectly to be a friend yet harbor dark intentions. I felt proud that I had acted wisely, not letting my emotions control me, but rather my mind and instinct, guided by love and determination. Alex and I grew closer each day, trusting each other deeply, never letting doubt or jealousy interfere. Months later, we moved forward, planning trips, hosting friends, celebrating birthdays, holidays. Everything became a testament to the strength of our bond and the cleverness that had saved it. We shared stories of caution, laughter, and love. Our friends often called me brave. Some whispered that I was like a heroine from a drama series. Every sunset, when we sat on our porch, I felt peace, watching the sky change colors, reflecting on how far we had come. I knew challenges would come, but I also knew that vigilance, courage, and love would always guide me. I had survived deception, betrayal, manipulation, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more confident. Ryan's memory faded into the past. He became a shadow, a reminder of what to watch for, but he no longer held power over us. Alex and I built our future with honesty and love every day, strengthening our relationship from trust, respect, and careful attention. I felt proud that I had not only protected my marriage, but also taught myself lessons in patience, observation, and cleverness. I would sometimes smile, thinking of the subtle games played, the quiet tension, the little victories that led to the ultimate triumph. I knew that life demanded courage and cleverness, that sometimes the ones closest could betray, but careful planning, observation, and patience would always reveal the truth and restore balance. I remembered the first time I met Ryan. It was at Alex's office party. He had that effortless charm. Everyone seemed to like him, but I could sense a hidden confidence, a sharpness behind his smile. I brushed it off, thinking maybe I was overthinking, maybe it was just instinct, but later I realized that instinct had saved me from months of deceit. Ryan quickly became a regular at our home, helping with chores, fixing small things, offering advice that seemed harmless. But slowly his presence grew heavier, like a shadow following us everywhere. I noticed Alex laughing at his jokes more than mine, responding to him more warmly. I tried not to show it, but a pit formed in my stomach with each passing day. I started noticing little things. First, it was subtle comments about my clothes, then about my cooking, then hints that maybe I was not doing enough around the house, or that Alex needed someone who understood him better. I dismissed the early signs, telling myself it was paranoia, but the feeling would not leave me. It grew into certainty as I observed Ryan closely. One evening, Alex left for a late meeting and Ryan lingered around. I pretended to be busy folding laundry, but I could feel his eyes scanning the living room, scanning me, scanning everything I did. I smiled, calmly welcoming him into conversation, but my mind was sharp, planning, testing, calculating. I started creating subtle traps, leaving my planner open on the table, leaving letters visible, hiding my phone where he could see it, leaving small documents about our lives. Ryan could not resist curiosity. He snooped, small things at first, little peeks, then more daring moves. I caught him on camera. I took photos documenting every step he took. Days turned into weeks, and Ryan grew bolder. He would linger in the kitchen, commenting on my cooking, asking questions about our routines, hinting to Alex that maybe I was not enough, that maybe Ryan could do things better. I held my tongue. I watched and waited, keeping my emotions hidden while I gathered every detail carefully. Finally, I decided it was time to act. I invited our closest friends over for dinner, a casual gathering, but I had arranged everything perfectly: cameras in place, subtle traps, documents, and phones. Ryan did not know this. He was confident, charming, flirting with words and gestures, trying to look innocent, but I could see through him. As dinner progressed, I casually mentioned a project I had been working on, personal documents about home improvement, schedules, and reminders, all left in plain sight. Ryan's curiosity got the better of him. He tried to peek at my laptop. He whispered questions, trying to engage Alex in side conversations. I watched carefully, timing everything. Then came the moment of exposure. Ryan tried to redirect the conversation, pointing fingers, denying interest. But I had captured everything on camera. I asked casually if anyone had noticed. He seemed a little nervous. Everyone laughed at a joke I made about trust and loyalty, but my eyes were on him. Alex noticed too, his brow furrowed, questions forming in his mind. I could see the realization dawning. I started revealing subtle hints, pieces of the puzzle, without accusing anyone directly, just stories and documents and messages. Ryan tried to divert attention, deny, twist the story, but I had witnesses confirming my observations, messages and pictures. Alex looked from me to Ryan, disbelief, shock, and finally anger. He stood up, demanding explanation. Ryan stammered, laughed nervously, tried to charm, but the evidence was overwhelming. I could see the humiliation in Ryan's eyes, the nervous twitch, the realization he had underestimated me, the woman he had thought was naive or distracted. I had played his game, but I was 10 steps ahead. Patience, intelligence, and cleverness, my allies, were my documentation, my observation, my strategic planning, all working perfectly. Ryan finally left our lives, defeated, humiliated, never daring to return. Alex embraced me. I felt his gratitude, his relief. I smiled, inwardly proud that I had protected our love without losing dignity, without creating drama, just carefully exposing truth and safeguarding marriage. Life returned slowly to normal. Alex and I rebuilt trust stronger than before. We laughed, talked openly, cooked together, planned trips, celebrations. Every day became a testament to vigilance, courage, and patience. I realized that sometimes the people closest could harbor hidden motives, but with careful observation, the truth always surfaces. Months later, Ryan was just a shadow, a memory, a lesson I shared with friends about vigilance, cleverness, patience, bravery, the strength required to protect what you love. I reflected often on his behavior, shaking my head, thinking about the audacity, the charm, the deception, and I smiled, knowing that wisdom and courage had prevailed. Every sunset, Alex and I would sit on our porch, watching the sky shift colors, reflecting on the day, feeling content, knowing our relationship was built on trust, honesty, vigilance, and love. We had survived manipulation and betrayal and emerged stronger, wiser, more confident, prepared for any challenge that life could throw. Sometimes I would recall the moments of tension, the almost exposure, the nervous glances, the small victories that led to the ultimate triumph. I knew life demanded careful observation, intelligence, and patience, that not everyone is who they appear to be, and that love, protected by vigilance, is stronger than anything else. Ryan became a story shared with our close friends about cunning, charm, and betrayal, how even the best intentions can be twisted by hidden motives, and how courage, intelligence, and cleverness can protect the people you love. We laughed, shared lessons, whispered warnings, but most importantly celebrated the strength and victory of truth. Alex and I moved forward, planning our future together, dreams, trips, celebrations, holidays, everything a testament to love and cleverness. We shared moments of laughter, tears, and joy, knowing that vigilance, patience, and courage had preserved our marriage forever. Nothing could shake what had been carefully protected and wisely defended. It was a quiet Saturday morning. I was in the kitchen preparing breakfast when I thought back to the first day Ryan had walked into our lives. I remembered the way Alex had smiled, introducing him, saying he was a lifelong friend, someone I should trust, someone I could feel comfortable around. At first, I did feel comfortable. I wanted to trust, but instinct told me something was off, something hidden lurking behind charm and politeness. I watched him closely in the beginning, noticing small behaviors, small gestures that seemed harmless, but added up over time. The way he lingered near the living room when Alex and I talked, the way he commented casually on my cooking, suggesting improvements, the way he laughed a little too easily at Alex's jokes, ignoring mine. It was subtle, but I noticed every detail, every nuance. Flashbacks of small incidents ran through my mind. The time he had accidentally opened my laptop to check on a work project, the way he commented about my wardrobe while Alex was not paying attention, the casual questions about my friends, my schedule, my routines. He seemed helpful, friendly, harmless, but I could feel the layers of manipulation underneath. I decided to stay patient. I decided to be clever. I started leaving small traps, small things to observe his reactions. I left my planner on the table. I left letters open. I hid my phone where he could see messages, the curiosity in his eyes when he noticed. These things confirmed my suspicions. I was gaining proof of his true intentions. One afternoon, Alex went out to meet a client, leaving Ryan and me alone. I pretended to fold laundry, but I was watching him every move. He checked the kitchen counters, the living room shelves, the areas he had no reason to explore. I casually asked if he needed help. He smiled nervously, said he was just checking, and I could feel my pulse race, knowing I had him exactly where I wanted. Over the next few days, Ryan grew bolder. He would try to subtly suggest to Alex that maybe I was not enough, maybe he could help better, maybe Alex needed someone who truly understood him. I refused to react. I stayed calm, patient, observant, capturing every move, recording messages and taking photos, documenting everything. I needed evidence, concrete, undeniable evidence. The plan came together when I invited our closest friends over for dinner, a casual gathering, perfectly timed. Ryan could not resist showing off his charm. He engaged in conversations, laughing, flirting, subtly trying to look innocent, but the traps were set: cameras recording interactions, documents left in plain view, messages displayed subtly. During dinner, I casually referenced my personal projects, my schedules, leaving documents and messages in places where Ryan could see. His curiosity overcame him. He started peeking, trying to hide it, but failing. My friends noticed something off. I noticed everything, timing, each reaction, each hesitation. Finally, I started revealing small pieces of the puzzle, casually dropping hints about documents, messages, interactions that no one else could explain. Ryan tried to deny it, divert attention, charm, manipulate the narrative, but the evidence was overwhelming. I had strategically arranged for witnesses to observe his behavior, all confirming what I had captured. Alex noticed, too, the change in his demeanor, the nervous laughter, the shifting eyes, the subtle lies. Ryan tried to charm him, distract him, manipulate the story, but Alex's disbelief turned to anger when he realized the truth. The confrontation was explosive. Alex demanded answers. Ryan stammered, denied, twisted stories, tried to charm, but every move I had predicted, every reaction I had documented. The humiliation in Ryan's eyes was satisfying, but also a reminder of the sharpness required to protect love. Patience, intelligence, and cleverness had saved our marriage. I felt proud that I had navigated deception calmly, cleverly, maintaining dignity and grace throughout. Life slowly returned to normal. Alex and I rebuilt our relationship stronger than ever. Trust, communication, laughter, and love filled our home. We planned trips, celebrations, everyday activities together. We laughed, remembering small incidents we shared with friends, sometimes whispering stories of Ryan as lessons in vigilance, cleverness, patience, and courage. Months passed. Ryan became a memory, a shadow, a story to share with friends about deceit, hidden intentions, and cleverness, intelligence, and courage. Alex and I moved forward, planning our life together, celebrating victories big and small, knowing vigilance and careful observation had preserved our marriage. I reflected, often thinking about the subtle games, the tension, the small victories, the careful planning that led to ultimate triumph. I understood life required patience, careful observation, courage, intelligence, and cleverness. Not everyone is what they seem, and love, protected by vigilance, is stronger than anything else. Every evening we would sit on our porch watching the sunset. I felt peace, knowing our love had endured, tested, survived, and emerged stronger. We had faced deception, betrayal, manipulation, and had come out victorious, stronger, wiser, more confident, prepared for any challenge ahead. Ryan was no longer part of our lives, only a lesson, a story, a reminder of how easily deception can be hidden under charm and politeness, but also how intelligence, patience, cleverness, and courage can reveal the truth, restore balance, and protect what matters most. Alex held my hand every sunset, whispering gratitude and love. I knew our bond was unbreakable, our foundation strong, our future secure. We had survived betrayal and emerged victorious, the ultimate lesson learned: vigilance, cleverness, patience, courage, and love always prevail. Even now, sometimes I smile thinking of the tension, the near exposure, the nervous glances, the little victories that led to ultimate triumph. I know life will always present challenges. Deception may come in forms disguised as friends, but with vigilance, courage, intelligence, and patience, nothing can threaten what we have built. Our story became one shared with friends, laughter, lessons, whispers, celebrations of cleverness and courage, the power of vigilance and patience, the triumph of truth over deceit. Alex and I moved forward, planning a future together filled with love, joy, celebration, adventure, and security, knowing that our cleverness had protected us forever.